right, you guys. Jufro Fragrances. Today, we're going to talk about a house that I've been getting a lot of requests on. People were like, hey, Lawrence, you don't talk about Afnan fragrances. Why not? So, backstory for this is, and I'll just say it in this video because I'll do a few Afnan videos. I was in Vegas for work, and there was like a fragrance thing going on. And I, was just wandering around, and I ran into the owner of Afnan, Rafiq, who actually recognized me. So that was pretty cool. That was awesome. So he even told me, he was like, hey, you don't review my fragrances. Why not? Why not? I'm like, I don't know. I just haven't had the chance. So he was kind enough to gift me quite a few fragrances from Afnan. So I'll talk about it because, like I said, I've been getting requests about these anyways. So now he has a few different lines, and like I said, we'll do separate videos going into them. The one I probably have the most from the line is the Supremacy line. Now, I have 4 fragrances. We'll talk about 2. The 2 I will talk about, I think, are best suited for the cooler weather that's coming up. In some places I already know it's cold. Here in LA, it's getting there. Now, those 2 are Incense and In Oud. So, we'll talk about what I think about these fragrances, what I smell, and all that good stuff. All right? So the first one we'll talk about today is Incense. Now, I'm sure you're already going to guess with the name in there what note you pick up, and you do. But I also pick up some citrus in the opening, slightly, not too much though. But for me, it's very heavy on the oregano, the pepper, and the incense. Again, to me, this is something you're only going to want to wear in the cold weather. You could try to wear it in the warm weather. I would advise against it just because this is a pretty strong fragrance. I got over 10 hours on my skin with it. Now, at the point where it was already over 10 hours, about at the 10-hour mark, and the reason why I say over is, at arm's length, my wife could still smell it. Now, I think it's best suited for going out. Party. Yeah, a party. I don't think date night. I think party, you want to go somewhere where you're going to want to command attention. This is not for everybody, though. I will say this fragrance is not for everybody. Now, you could get away with blind buying this one versus the fragrance that it's inspired by, which is what I'll talk about in a second. But this is, like I said, one that it's a very particular audience that will like this. Now, the fragrance that it is inspired by is my all-time favorite fragrance, Amouage Interlude. Say it's about between 80 and 90% similar. So, if you love Interlude, and you're like, you want to save it for special occasions, but you want to wear it a little bit more often, this is a great alternative. Longevity, performance, relatively the same. I do think Interlude is heavier. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. It is heavier, projects a little bit more. But like I said, this is not lacking in performance whatsoever. Now, you could try. I still say you could get decants of Interlude just to see. But this is very reasonably priced. I believe you can get it on Afnan's website and maybe some other for like $50 shipped. So, and this is a big bottle. This is a 3.4. So you're talking about getting a good size. And this is not something you'll want to do a lot of sprays on either. I do the Jufro method, and that's just me. But this is something where you maybe can get away with just 3-4 sprays. Maybe somebody might say that's too much. Now, again, I love it because I love Interlude. So there's that. Now, for people that don't like Interlude or like, hey, I'm already put off by it, I can tell you won't like this. It is what it is. But if you want a bold statement-making fragrance, this is one I would definitely check out. The other fragrance we'll talk about, I think, is safer than Incense. That one, like I said, it could be a particular audience. This one, it'll branch out. I think more people will enjoy this. And this one is Supremacy in Oud. Again, I know people hear Oud and they'll freak out and be like, oh my God, Lawrence, are you trying to put us on something like Oud Palau, which is very strong? No, this is a very soft Oud, beginner Oud. Now, what this is inspired by is, if you've tried from Initio, also now Parfums de Marly have their version, Haltane, but Initio's Oud for Greatness. It's very like I said, it's kind of an entryway into oud. With Oud for Greatness, and even with this one, I don't get the oud very heavy in here. Now, there are some sweet notes in here as well. You definitely get saffron in there, some nutmeg. Like I said, to me, it is on the sweeter side. Again, one fragrance you're going to want to wear in the cooler weather. Now, if I would say between the two of these, if you wanted to wear one in the warmer weather, would be in oud, because it's sweeter a little bit. Like, it could be cloying though, in the summertime, but I feel like it's not going to be as heavy. Performance, great. With this one, I got over 10 hours on my skin. Again, something you want to wear during going out. Going out would be perfect. It's not a heavy projecting fragrance off my skin, but leaves a decent scent trail. Now, even at the 10-hour mark, I won't say it was arm's length like Incense was, maybe like half an arm's length, which is pretty good. Already at the 10-hour mark too. So that's the thing with these Afnan fragrances. They do not lack in performance. So if you're hesitant about trying it and you're like, oh, I don't know, I think it's good because, again, Oud for Greatness, it's expensive. Initio fragrances are expensive. Amouage fragrances, interlude, expensive fragrances. So if you wanted something, again, you can always get a decant, but Afnan does a great job of it, of like the inspiration. And I would say with both of them, you're getting about 80-90% similar. So you'll kind of know when you try this, if you like it, you'll be like, all right, you know what? I'll enjoy the OG. So this, like I said, the bottles are pretty. Look at this. I mean, this one, I love the color of this one more. And I'm not saying this just because this reminds me of Interlude. It's just, I do feel like the bottle is nicer, but this bottle is great as well. So guys, if you are looking for some beast mode fragrances, which a lot of you do tell me this, and you want fragrances that aren't very expensive, Afnan is a great one to check out. I will go into more. Again, I do have 2 more from the Supremacy line, and I'm sure, as you can see behind me, there's some Afnan bottles in there, so we'll go into those as well. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I want to know if you guys have tried Afnan. Have you tried these 2? Which Afnan fragrances would you like me to review? Like I said, I have probably 10 fragrances, so we'll talk about all of them. But I'm curious, which ones do you want to see more, and which ones did you enjoy the most? As always, hit that bell. It gives you notifications when I'm dropping these videos. Ciao,